Have you ever been out in public with your kids and one of them finds themselves in the middle of a storm, of a very loud storm, and you can feel everyone's eyes on you? Yeah, me too. It's overwhelming and exhausting, and it can feel like you're failing as a parent, but you're not. Last week, we decided to take the kiddos to a video game arcade type place, and I knew going in there that things could get a little bit tricky leaving, and things in fact did get a little bit tricky leaving, and they got loud and they got flaily, and it was for sure a storm for some of them. And I felt people watching and I saw people staring. And in the past, I would have panicked and I would have shut it down. I would have, gotten angry, told them to stop yelling and carrying on, and marched right out of there. But I've learned over time that panicking and losing my cool makes things so much harder for me and for them. It makes it 10 times worse. So there's a few things that I've figured out over time that really do make a difference. The first thing I do every single time is I take a deep breath myself, or 2 or 3 nice deep belly breaths, because I want to respond. I don't want to react. And I want my calm energy to help them feel safe so that they can find their calm energy. I'm not going to do any good if I go in there in a panic. So I first calm myself. Maybe it takes a couple extra seconds, but those seconds are totally worth it. And then after I've calmed myself down and I feel prepared, I go and I sit beside them and I validate. Yes, yep, I was sitting in the middle of that alleyway with those things beeping everywhere, and it was crazy, but I sat in the middle of that floor beside them and I just reflected what I heard. Oh, you really want to stay. You are having so much fun. You don't want to go. I'm not agreeing with it. I'm just telling them that I hear what they're saying. And that validation is the first step in helping them get unstuck from that storm. The next part about helping them through that public storm is what I find the most challenging. It is being patient and just waiting for them to get unstuck. And it's especially hard if there's people waiting on me or there's a time crunch. But the more that they sense that I am pushing them to get over it, the longer it's going to take. Their bodies and their brains need to feel safe in order to come out of fight or flight mode. And if I'm pushing them to do that, they're not going to feel safe. And so we wait. And that is really hard when you're in the middle of an arcade and there are people watching and there's noise everywhere. But I sit and wait and continue to breathe with them. Sometimes I visibly will rock my body a little bit and I'll take very obvious, deep, slow breaths, trying to get those mirror neurons of theirs activated and copying my regulating strategies to try and help them regulate themselves. And then once they're ready, I redirect them. If I try to redirect before I've validated and before I've given their nervous system that time to chill out a bit, it doesn't go anywhere and it usually makes things worse. And so that step I save for later. Oh, you really wanted to stay here. This is what we're doing next. That's going to be really fun. Or I have a really delicious crunchy snack for you in the van. Or I think I could use some fresh air. Do you want to go check out what's outside? Or whatever it is that your strategy is. Redirecting them onto the next thing or into the next space gets that movement happening and helps their body also move through that storm. And then the last thing that I find that helps the most in those very public meltdowns comes way after the public, way after the storm. Once everyone is calm and regulated, maybe the next day, maybe at supper time, when everyone is calm and totally regulated, then we talk about what happened, how their bodies felt in that moment, what they think they needed or what they think could have happened differently. And we learn from it. We all learn from it. I learn what they need in those moments. They learn what they need in those moments. And the next time is a little bit better. Not perfect. It takes a long time and it's still taking time, but it is a little bit better, and it does get better each time you get to practice. And I think the biggest thing to remember after or during a public meltdown or a storm is that this is not a reflection on your parenting, and it is not a reflection on your child's will or their behavior. It really is a reflection on what is happening in their nervous system. And with time and patience and practice, navigating these situations becomes a little bit easier every time. Don't worry, you got this.